to my wonderful Hungarian crib. This is what we're working with. It looked 10 times bigger in the photos, but it's not so bad. Got a little map situation. Whatever this is here. Oh, oops. Kitchen. Then we have a second floor. How fancy. This is the building in which my Airbnb was located. As I've seen online, Budapest is quite known for scary-looking buildings that have quite nice Airbnbs, so that's exactly what I experienced. As I had been traveling since 5 AM, it was food time. I had an overpriced tuna bagel from a place that I found on TikTok. I would only rate it a 4, but it did bring me to the Basilica, and that was definitely worth the trip. To regain my energy, I went to a riverside bar for a coffee that was €3 and barely covered 1/3 of my cup. Also, smoking culture is absolutely insane here. Keep that in mind. If you don't like smoke, probably not the city for you. Then going down alongside Danube River, there are different bridges and monuments to see, like the famous lion heads and the famous shoes on the Danube bank. The Parliament building impressed me the most. It is the most expensive building in the country, and honestly it really shows. The best part about my job is that I'm in a country that I've never been to, in a super nice city. It's Friday night, super warm outside. I can hear the parties happening probably everywhere around me. So what do we do? The worst part of my job is that it is Friday night, and if you have been streaming all day, it means you have to catch up with every other task in your life. Plus, it's kind of unsafe to be out alone. So then you get stuck inside your apartment. The second best thing about my job is that I get to try a lot of different new foods and different restaurants every single day. But the worst thing about me as a person, not related to my job, is that I'm a little bit of a psychopath. So I only eat very specific things. So I could be out on the streets eating at cool restaurants. Instead, we have hummus, whatever this meat is, wraps, spinach, eggs. Day 2 started with a slow morning and finally a good cup of coffee. Today I had a plan to see the most famous bridge with a name I'll never ever be able to pronounce and do a proper tourist exploration of the city. Sorry, I'm ruining your photo. First and foremost, I love trains, trams and anything around it, so of course I had to see the famous funicular that inspired the Grand Budapest Hotel movie. The Fisherman's Bastion was my second favorite place because of all the tiny details, sculptures and colors. You can honestly look at them all day long. Absolutely stunning. And of course, you can't have Middle Ages without a Starbucks that is hiding behind this man. And just a bit further down, you can see the Buddha Castle in all its glory and all the beautiful landscape views walking back from it. Also, an actual staircase that is not from a horror movie like ours. Even as a picky eater, I have to try at least one local thing, and this time it was the stew with noodles. All the buildings here are super grand, yet I was still surprised how beautiful the university buildings are, like actually studying in a castle. And this walk was leading to the most important thing and the whole reason why I was in Budapest in the first place, which is the 39th Budapest Marathon. I had to collect my bib number and run early the next day. To get back to Pest, I decided to explore another bridge with a name that cannot be pronounced, and found this hammock minifigure that is part of minifigure series distributed all around the city. A cold drink that matches with the autumn vibes, and some German music to end day 2. With the 6 AM wake up, the day I've been waiting for 3 months had finally begun. Having bad asthma and running is not a great combination, so I started the day with an inhaler and a surprisingly nice sunrise. To not freeze to death, they had organized a warm-up, and this truly is a good and very serious look on the professional runners. I ran for the first time in May this year in Riga. This time around, there was no stress, but the running itself felt much more difficult. The wonderful scenery and seeing the grandma run like an absolute champ kept me going, and with lots of moans and super shaky camera shots that I could not use for this, I finished and got the medal. A steak dinner was very well deserved after that crazy day. Then a small stroll through the town, and then an hour-long breakdown of overwhelming feelings of running the marathon and a bit of loneliness. It was time for our last day in the country, and there was no better way to start a day than a huge English breakfast and some shopping. I left the most exciting activities for the last day so that I could overpower the incredible leg pain from the day before. First stop, fancy McDonald's. Honestly, this place did not disappoint. It looked better than most high-end restaurants back home. Then on my little stroll I had to stop and look at some trains and these funky little abandoned cars. District 7, which I was very hyped about, ended up being quite disappointing and sketchy. It was either long lines at fancy tourist places or abandoned buildings, parking lots, and graffiti. But I seem to be able to find something cute in everything, and I think this clip really proves that. Life is so pretty. Motorbike. The stroll was definitely worth just for this one place, seems like Kurt. It's this edgy neighborhood with bars that have lots of fun details, stickers, and art. Then I made my way back to the Danube River for my last activity, the bottomless champagne booze cruise. It was mostly couples or big groups of dudes, together with the stunning views of the city, champagne glass number, whatever, and cheering with some friends that I had made on the boat. The sun started to set and revealed a totally different romantic side of the place. It has to be the best 25 euros I've spent in a while. Cheers! Then, with this British couple I met on the boat, we went to a Harry Potter bar, which actually is quite famous and was right next to my house. To be in the moment, I did not take too many videos, but we had a few drinks, saw some magic tricks, and then I called it a night because I had to head to the airport at 3 AM for the next adventure.